I'm going to do a quick Money Matters one for the month of March, and this is for Libra 2025. So again, it's whenever you find it, but this is where we're. So just to kind of get right into it, this is the Seven of Wands, and again, I'm just going to quickly add, if it's not your story, it's not your story, but this is what I see currently. So the Seven of Wands does indicate that you are in an advantageous position. So in terms of finances, because that's what we're looking at here, I feel like you're really in a good standing. So there's something here that kind of speaks to, you might have some small earnings in some way here. There might be something that, pays off a little bit of a dividend, something along that line, but it's kind of sticking true to the vision and sort of maintaining at where you're at. Now, there is also something here that you're worrying about, and I will say that there was something that came up of a bit of a tower moment here. So I would say in general here, there is something that you're worrying about. So whether this actually comes to fruition, we'll kind of wait till it goes through in the read, but the Nine of Swords does still indicate that there is something here of a concern. So I'm not saying it's necessarily keeping you up at night and all of that, because a lot of the cards still speak to things righting themselves in some way. But the Knight of Swords does still indicate a lot of mental anguish, or a lot of drama, or a lot of some kind of financial concern, or something's on your mind here anyway that is kind of bringing up some, demons for you, or confusion. Don't mean literal demons, just so you know, but surrounding some kind of financial issue. So there might be a little bit of panic in around a time frame, something like that, but you're almost through it. So there is some negative emotions that are clouding your judgment here. We do have you next to the Nine of Wands, which is also an indicator that something still that you're kind of pushing through here. So there's something here of a negative emotion, or something like that, again, that seems to be clouding the finances. Something that you have a little bit of dread around. You're almost through it though, because the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands does indicate that you're at the last sort of threshold of whatever this is. So whatever it is, it's going to be dealing with some kind of corporate environment, some kind of contract, something of could be even governmental source, but either way, or both. But there is definitely something here that you're just a little bit concerned about, or worried that something won't be established. But I'm going here to tell you that it will. So when I'm looking at again, Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands, it's kind of an overdrawn feeling, that you won't be able to meet all of your financial arrangements, or something's not quite going through. So again, feeling like you might have to dip into a rainy day fund or something like that. But either way, there's something here of a concern about a possible delay, because this is you worrying about it. So again, even with the Nine of Wands, there's still that feeling financially that you're not sure if something's going to come through in time. It's something along that line. And again, we've got governmental source here. We've got some kind of, could be more than one thing here as well, but it is a traditional source of finances that would be coming through. Now, I do see some money coming through here, especially too because we've got the Four of Pentacles. There is still a sense of conserving the money, or hanging on to it, maybe feeling like you have to hang on to it as well, but there is still something here that kind of speaks to the finances still coming in. So again, it's sort of a sense of, yes, I'm getting something here, but I'm going to deal with the money in a really practical sort of way, because it's kind of a conservative feel around the finances. So very protective, very guarded. It is around the home front here. It certainly is money that's going to be coming in that will affect your stability. The Four of Wands does indicate that there is something here. A lot of cards that do speak to stability. So everything still looks stable. I don't see any, and I do see extra money coming in, because this is a card of feeling grounded, and again, it's a card of feeling stable. So there's something here financially that's going in the right direction despite your worries about it. I do still feel like this is bringing in more money that will help on a long-term basis. So it's not necessarily just impacting this particular month, but it is steering you in the right direction. So I just feel like there's a little bit of discernment that you're, applying with that Four of Pentacles. You're not going hog wild with money that is coming in, but it does look like there is going to be some kind of communication about it here as well. I do see the Page of Cups indicating that there is some kind of a communication. And so there is also, it does feel like this could be maybe I don't know if it's I'm kind of getting maybe smaller and larger denomination. I don't know why there's kind of two things here, because even with that Eight of Cups energy. Normally, I mean, it's walking away from something that's dissatisfying, but it's also letting go of financial problems. So it feels like you're opening up to something here that's going to be more of a possibility to sort of bring in more finances. So again, I still feel like there is, I shouldn't just say it's all perfect here, because there is something here that does speak to a new path of finances or some kind of new income that's coming in here as well. But I also want to say that because we are seeing the Four of Cups here, there is, and that was the Four of Cups with the Eight of Pentacles. Actually, the ones that came out together are the Eight of Pentacles, the Tower, and the Queen of Pentacles. So that is the combination there. So I'm going to keep it separate from the Four of Cups. So it's almost like you feel like you missed the boat on something, or something's disappointing you here. Now I'm going to recap this as well. But again, the Four of Cups does indicate that there is something that you might have some regrets over in terms of the finances, or something isn't going to be quite as bleak as you had expected. So let's just see how that turns out here. So, and I say that because of all the other cards surrounding. So again, Four of Cups does speak to financially that there is something that you feel like you might not have some kind of dissatisfaction of some sort here, but this to me looks like it's more of a new source of income that you overlooked, and things are not quite as bleak as you expected it to be. Now we also have it ending out with the Magician card, so we'll get to that here in a second, but we'll just stay with the last combination, which I think is more the tell-all. So again, and then I'll recap again, but Eight of Pentacles does tell me overall that there is something, that there is a job situation I feel that money is coming in with. This does indicate, you know, regular financial backing. So to me, that's a job of some sort that's fairly stable. And for those of you looking for a job, that's not what I'm seeing here. This is for someone who already has a job, that it's, you know, the money's coming in. So it does feel like it's not a good time for you to make some major financial changes, especially when I see it followed up with the Tower card. Now, for those that don't have a job, I can pull some cards on that here as well. But what I want to just start with is just this one particular thing here with the Tower coming through. It does speak to some kind of a sudden appearance of money, or something that you didn't expect. I feel like it's also in regards to, because this is around the resources, it's almost like there's a sudden financial gain in some way, but there could also speak to some kind of financial issue that kind of gets in the way here as well, but it doesn't matter because it still rights itself with the Queen of Pentacles. So what I'm going to say there overall is that you're still sitting pretty. This is a really good position in terms of your finances. You're using the resources in a practical way. There's not any real issues that way. So again, goals are being achieved. You're putting the money in the right places. And I feel like overall, you know, you're building on those achievements. So the money is going in the right spots is what I would say here. It feels like it's, and again, there's almost like there is a sense of extra money that's coming in here, more than one resource. And I feel like one is a little bit unexpected, but the money situation still looks quite good. It's better than it might have been for a while. And I do feel like whatever this little challenge was that kind of throws into the mix, it does feel like you're still finding a way to sort of balance it out. And I'm going to recap, but again, we end up on the Magician side of things, meaning you have the finances, you have the money to make everything sort of, you know, pull it all together. It does feel like this, again, this could be a new project or something here that you're still sort of working on, but even in terms of just the overall finances, I feel like you're using the skills, you know, you're using your skills in a practical way, like I said, but it's also in that space of improving your finances dramatically here. So, or it will improve, I think, over time, because for me, the Magician does indicate that this is money that has to be, yes, you're using all the skills to make something happen, but it's almost like you're still pulling from the ether, so to speak, to sort of bring something into a grounded, practical way. I'm not saying that that's not here. You have a lot of grounded, practical cards and putting in the effort and the work. But again, just to sort of recap, we start out with that Seven of Wands energy. So I still feel like, you know, you're kind of in that space of pushing through some kind of a situation here, but there is going to be good news. So again, despite your worry and your anxiety over the situation around, you're putting in too much financial or too much stress and anxiety around a financial matter or a bill that's come in. but I do feel like you work it out. So whatever that uncertainty is with that 9, it does show that there's resilience here as well with the 9 of Wands. So again, you might be working pretty hard, or you might be putting a lot of, over exertion, mental as well as physical energy. But just know that, there's a lot here that speaks to finances paying off. Now again, we had the 4 of Pentacles here. So I'm going to bring that further up. Sorry, there we are. So we also had that 4 of Pentacles energy. Again, I feel like that combination overall still tells me that you're fairly secure in your situation. You're achieving your financial milestones. You're in a secure situation. There's security in so many more cards than just we've got the 4 of Wands. We also have the Queen of Pentacles. Those are all cards of security. This is stable money. This is also dealing with a government source. And again, it just feels like everything overall is you're doing things in a traditional way. There's not a lot of undisciplined energy here. It's very disciplined money, managing your money. So again, you've got peace of mind. So I wouldn't worry so much about things holding you back, because I don't feel like there's overspending. I don't feel like there's any financial risks at this time. It just feels like you're creating a structured plan about how you're paying off your bills and so on. Now again, the Page of Cups was out here as well, so that does still speak to some kind of financial situation that you're being encouraged to explore. It could be a creative new way to generate some income as well, or something that you're doing on the side that actually does bring in extra money. But it does feel like either way, this isn't stagnant energy. This feels like you just might be feeling disconnected from, the money in your current financial situation, feeling like something lets you down a little bit on some basis. But either way, again, clarification of the whole of this is that it does suggest, again, with that Tower moment, there's something here that kind of props up that might be it's a bill that kind of comes out of nowhere, but you've got the dedication to, to the hard work with that 8 of Pentacles. You've got regular job skill development, as well with that 8 of Pentacles energy. And I just feel like overall there's productivity, there's improvement. Even the Tower represents as more of a sudden, even though I feel like there's a certain bill that kind of disrupts things, it feels like there's also something here that kind of speaks to a resource that comes in to kind of balance it out. So it's a major shift, but it also leads to new resources, with the Magician card also coming out here. So overall, I feel like things are looking really good for you and in the month of March. And again, I'm not seeing, I am seeing steady income. I am seeing dealing with a governmental source. I am seeing that there is some additional money, but you're hanging on to it. I don't feel like there's any kind of issues around. There is a big bill of some sort that might be propping up here, but it's almost like there's also another little bit of money that kind of helps in paying that down. So that's why I see stability regardless. So good luck, and in March, let me know in the chat there if there was anything that resonated with you, and we'll see you in the next read. That's what I have for you. Keep moving forward.